So Cheryl brought up, she wants to know, it's just not something that comes up naturally at dinner. That's true.
Yeah.
You got to know when to bring it up, right? We're talking about homework and what we're doing that weekend and who's driving to soccer practice. How do you even bring it up?
Yeah, no, that's such a good question because,
yeah,
you're not necessarily talking about Harvey Weinstein at dinner. I mean, as you said, the personal examples, if you want to go there, some people don't want to go there and some people don't have a personal example to share, and that's a good thing. If you don't, there are, I think, ways to talk about your day that can bring it up. I mean, often I've sort of trained my kids to ask, how was your day? Because I just think it's a good habit for them to get in every area of their life to make sure they're asking, the people around them how their day was. But I could imagine a scenario where they would ask, how was your day? And I could start talking about a story I read that day.
Right.
And especially with older kids, like Wendy, who brought the earlier comment up, was saying on Facebook last night how she and her kids started talking about the Aziz Ansari article, which is
that's a good example.
A really good example, right? Because there's all this gray area in there, right? So he had this accusation lodged against him that some people were saying really just was a bad date, and then other people were calling assault.
Right, exactly.
And so something like that, I think, where it's not very black and white, like this person did this thing wrong, never do that. But an example of like, hey, what does this sound like to you guys? Here's this thing I read. Here's the defense, here's the accusation. Let's talk about that, and let your kids think about it in a nuanced way, and have those discussions with adults around, and not necessarily just with their peers or not just online, but where you can offer your feedback, right?
Yeah. Well, where I have these discussions many of times is when I'm not editing your column and I give my son a ride to school on those rare occasions.
Yeah.
I find that
when I let you have your mornings with yourself, with your family.
Right. I'll bring up and he'll know it too. When I take my middle child to school, sometimes I'll be like, so, have you guys been talking about me too?
Yeah.
And I'll just kind of bring it up and he'll be like, he'll be like, yeah. I was like, well, what do you know about it? Outside of some of the conversations we've had. And he's like, a lot. We talk about it a lot. But I was like, well, are your teachers talking about it? And he's like, no, they're not talking about it. But me and my friends do at school. And so I haven't asked what those conversations with his peers are like. So that is probably next on my plate. But but they are talking about it.
But they're talking about it.
Yeah. Even when the schools are not. So.
Yeah. Yeah, it's got to be tricky for teachers. I mean, and it's tricky for parents, right?
Yeah.